Namaste and welcome to my channel. Today I am here with new video of model questions and answers which are asked in TSC examination of English and lower secondary and secondary level. Let's start from the question number 1. What is meant by scoring answers? List out the possible techniques used for scoring subjective answer. Develop a rubric that can support scoring various aspects of writing answers. TSC 2080. Scoring answers refers to the process of evaluating and assigning a grade or mark to students' responses based on predetermined criteria. This evaluation aims to measure the students' understanding, knowledge, skills, and abilities is demonstrated in their answers. Effective scoring should be fair, reliable, and provide meaningful feedback on students' learning. Possible techniques for scoring subjective answers. Subjective answers, which often require analysis, interpretations, and expression of personal opinions or ideas, like essays or open-ended questions, require more nuanced scoring techniques than objective answers. Some common techniques include holistic scoring. This involves reading answers as a whole and assigning a single score or grade based on the overall impressions of its quality. Scores consider the general effectiveness of the response in addressing the question. This is often used for quick evaluations of large number of responses. The second is analytic scoring. This technique involves breaking down the answers into specific components or dimensions, as for example, content, organization, language accuracy, style, and assigning a separate score for each component. The total score is then sum of the scores for each dimension. This provides more detailed feedback on specific strengths and weaknesses. The third is use of rubrics. Rubrics are scoring guides that clearly define the criteria and performance levels for evaluating students' work. They outline what qualities are expected in an answer at different levels of achievement. As for example, excellent, good, satisfactory, need improvement. Rubrics can be used with both holistic and analytic scoring. Number 4. Point system. While sometimes used for more objective questions, a point system can be adopted for subjective answers by allocating points to specific expected elements or arguments within the response. Rubrics for scoring various aspects of answers. In the first column, there is criteria like content, organization, language accuracy, style and tone. Similarly, in second, third, fourth, and in fifth column, there are various criteria for assigning numbers. The first criteria is content. The students will get 4 marks if the answer is comprehensive, accurate, and directly addresses all parts of the question with relevant supporting details and examples. Similarly, the answer will get 3 marks if the answer addresses most parts of the questions with generally accurate information and some supporting details. Similarly, the answers will get 2 marks if the answer addresses some parts of the questions but may lack detail, accuracy, or focus. And finally, the students or answers will get only 1 mark if the answer is incomplete, inaccurate, or does not adequately address the question. On the basis of organization criteria, the answers will get 4 marks if the ideas are logically organized and flow smoothly with clear transitions between paragraphs and points. Introduction and conclusion are effective. Similarly, the answers will get 3 marks if in the answers the ideas are generally well organized with mostly clear transitions, introduction and conclusion are present. In the same way, the answers will get 2 marks if the organization is somewhat unclear or inconsistent. Transitions may be weak or missing. And the answer will get only 1 mark if it includes the ideas are disorganized and difficult to follow. Introduction or conclusion may be missing. On the basis of language accuracy, the answer will get 4 marks if it demonstrates a high level of grammatical accuracy, correct spelling, punctuation, and appropriate vocabulary. Few or no errors that interfere with understanding. Similarly, the answer will get 3 marks if it demonstrates good grammatical accuracy with occasional errors that do not significantly impede understanding of the answer. Spelling and punctuation are generally correct, and the answer will get 3 marks if the answer contains frequent grammatical, spelling, and punctuation errors that sometimes interfere with understanding. Vocabulary may be limited or inappropriate. The answer will get only 1 marks if the answer contains numerous errors in grammar, spelling, and punctuation that significantly hinder understanding. Vocabulary is limited and often inappropriate. On the criteria of style and tone, the answer will get 4 marks if the writing is clear, concise, engaging, and uses appropriate academic tone. Sentence structure is bright and effective. Similarly, the answer will get 3 marks if the writing is generally clear and uses appropriate tone. Sentence structure is mostly correct and bright. In the same way, if the writing is somewhat unclear or simply mistake, tone may be inconsistent or inappropriate in places. Sentences structure may be repetitive. The answer will get only 2 marks. And finally, the answer will get only 1 mark if writing is unclear, difficult to understand, and or uses an inappropriate tone. Sentence structure is often incorrect or very limited. This rubric provides a framework for scoring writing answers based on specific criteria. Each criterion has 4 performance levels with descriptive characteristics, allowing for a more systematic and consistent evaluation of subjective responses. Let's move to question number 2. Differentiate between test and examination. List different types of instruments that can be used to test reading comprehension. Explain any 2 of them used for testing reading skills at the secondary level. This question is asked in Teacher Service Commission Examination 2081. Okay, let's see model answer. While the terms test and examination are often used interchangeably, there are subtle differences. A test is a general term for any assessment tool used to measure a student's knowledge or skills in a specific area. Tests can be formal or informal, short or long, and focus on specific learning outcomes. Examples include quizzes, assignments, and short activities. An examination, on the other hand, is generally a more formal and often longer assessment, typically conducted at the end of the course, term, or academic year. Examinations are usually more comprehensive and aim to evaluate the overall achievement of learning objectives over a broad period. They often carry more weight in terms of academic reading and progression compared to individual tests. In essence, an examination can be considered a type of test, but one that is more formal, comprehensive, and usually higher stakes. Let's see some differences between test and examination. Test, it is short and specific. Examination, on the other hand, it's long and covers more topics. Test don't frequently. Examination don't add enough the term or course. Test used to check progress. Examination used to evaluate total learning. Test is formative in nature. On the other hand, examination is summative in nature. Different types of instruments to test reading comprehension. Several instruments can be employed to assess reading comprehension skills. Some common types include 1. Multiple choice questions (MCQs). Students read a text and then answer questions by selecting the best option from a given set of choices. 2. True or false statements. Students read a text and then determine whether a series of statements about the text are true or false. 3. Short answer questions. Students read a text and then answer open-ended questions briefly in their own words. Cloze test. Students read a text with missing words and they need to fill in the blanks with the most appropriate words. 5. Matching activities. Students match parts of sentences, vocabulary words with their meanings or events with their descriptions after reading a text. 6. Sequencing text. Students read a text where events are presented out of order and they need to arrange them in correct sequence. 7. Summarization tasks. Students read a text and then write a brief summary of the main points in their own words. 8. Gap filling exercises. Similar to cloze tests but can focus on specific grammatical structures or vocabulary related to the text. Explanation of two instruments for testing reading skills at a secondary level. 1. Multiple choice questions (MCQs). MCQs are a widely used tool for testing reading comprehension at the secondary level. After reading a passage, students are presented with questions that have 3 or 4 possible answers. They need to select the option that best answers the question based on their understanding of the text. Let's see an example passage. The snow leopard is a shy and elusive animal found in the high mountain regions of Central Asia. Its thick fur helps it to survive in the cold climate, and its powerful legs allow it to leap great distances across rocky terrain. Unfortunately, the snow leopard is an endangered species due to habitat loss and poaching. Example question: what is the main reason the snow leopard is endangered? The options: A. Its thick fur makes it unable to survive in warm climates. B. It is often hunted for its meat by local villagers. Its habitat is disappearing and it is still illegally hunted. D. It cannot leap great distances across rocky terrain. The correct answer is option C. Its habitat is disappearing and it is illegally hunted. MCQs can effectively test students' understanding of specific details, main ideas, inferences, and vocabulary within a text. 2 short answer questions Short answer questions require students to read a passage and then answer direct questions using their own words. This instrument assesses not only their understanding of the text but also their ability to formulate concise and relevant responses. Let's see an example passage. Mount Everest, the oldest ice peak in the high mountain regions of Nepal, attracts climbers from all over the globe. Reaching the summit is a challenging feat that requires months of preparation and specialized equipment. Despite the dangers, many climbers are drawn to a mountain by the desire for adventure and the breathtaking views from the top. The first successful ascent of Mount Everest was made by Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay in 1953. Okay, let's see model question. Question number 1. Where is Mount Everest located? Expected answer. Mount Everest is located in the high mountain regions of Nepal. The answer should be inferable from the text. Sample question number 2. What made Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay famous? They were the first people to successfully climb Mount Everest. Short answer questions encourage deeper processing of the text and require students to retrieve the synthesized information to construct their answers. Let's move to question number 3. Analyze the importance of integrating reading and writing skills while teaching English at secondary level. Discuss 4 different techniques of testing the reading skill of 9th graders with example. This question is asked in TSC examination 2081. Let's see model answers. Importance of integrating reading and writing skills at secondary level. Reading and writing are two fundamental and interconnected receptive and productive language skills. At the secondary level, integrating these skills in English language teaching is of paramount importance for the holistic development of students' communicative competence. Instead of treating them as separate entities, combining reading and writing tasks fosters a deeper understanding of language, enhances critical thinking, and prepares students for effective communication in various contexts. Importance of integrating reading and writing. First, reinforcement of vocabulary and grammar. Reading exposes students to new vocabulary and grammatical structure in contexts. Integrating writing activities that utilize this newly acquired language helps solidify their understanding and usage. Second, development of comprehension and analytical skills. Reading encourages students to analyze text, identify main ideas, understand author's purpose, and make inferences. Writing tasks based on this reading prompts students to synthesize information and express their understanding in their own words. Third, improvement of writing fluency and cohesion. Reading well-written text provides students with models of effective writing. By analyzing sentence structures, paragraph organization, and linking devices in this text, students can improve their own writing fluency and create more coherent and cohesive pieces. Next, enhancement of critical thinking. When students read critically and then write about their interpretations, analyze, or opinions related to the text, it strengthens their critical thinking abilities. They learn to evaluate information from arguments and express their perspective logically. 4 techniques for testing reading skills of 9th grade with examples. 1. Multiple choice questions (MCQs). After reading a passage, students are presented with questions that have several options. They need to choose the best answer based on their understanding of the text. As for example, passage snippet The old banana tree in the village square was the heart of community. People gathered under its shade to discuss their joys and sorrows, and children played around its massive trunk. Question: what was the significance of the old banana tree for the villagers? Option A: it provided a good source of firewood. B: it was a place for social gathering and community interaction. Option C: it was the tallest tree in the village. Option D: it bore the sweetest fruits in the area. Correct answer is B. It was a place for social gathering and community interaction. Next is gap filling exercise or cloze test. Students are given a passage with certain words removed gaps, and they need to fulfill in the blanks with the most appropriate words from the context. As for example, passage: last Sunday my family went for a picnic to a nearby blank space. We packed delicious blank space and drinks. My brother and I blank space games like badminton and frisbee. It was a very day. Possible answers not provided in the passage. In the first blank space, park. In the second, food. In the third, played. And in the last blank space, enjoyable. Next question type is true-false statements. Students read a passage and then decide whether a series of statements related to the passage are true or false. As for example, passage statement: Kathmandu is the capital city of Nepal and is famous for its ancient temples and vibrant culture. The Pashupatinath temple is one of the most sacred Hindu shrines in the world, located on the bank of Bagmati river. Statements: A. Kathmandu is the largest city in Nepal. False. The Pashupatinath temple is a famous Buddhist shrine. False. The Pashupatinath temple is situated on the bank of Bagmati river. True. The next is short answer questions. After reading a passage, students are asked direct questions that require them to answer briefly in their own words, demonstrating their understanding of specific details or overall meaning. As for example, passage snippet: global warming is the increase in Earth's average surface temperature due to the effect of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide emissions from burning fossil fuels. This phenomenon has significant consequences for the planet, including rising sea levels and changing in weather patterns. Sample questions: what is global warming? Mention one cause of global warming. What is the consequence of global warming mentioned in the passage? In conclusion, integrating reading and writing skills is crucial for developing well-rounded English language learners at the secondary level. Employing diverse techniques like MCQs, gap filling, true-false, and short answer questions provides effective ways to assess students' reading comprehension abilities and informs teaching practices to further enhance their language proficiency. Let's start from question number 4. The question is: define specification grade. Discuss how it is useful to design good tests by providing relevant examples. Let's see moral answer. A specification grid, also known as a test blueprint or table of specification (TOS), is a two-way chart that outlines the content areas and cognitive levels or objectives or skills to be assessed in a test. It serves as a guide for test construction, ensuring that the test adequately samples the content taught and measures the intended learning outcomes in appropriate proportions. The grid typically includes the topics to be covered, the specific learning objectives or skills to be assessed, as for example knowledge, understanding, application, and analysis, the weightage assigned to each area, and sometimes the types and numbers of questions for each category. The usefulness of specification grid in designing good test. A specification grid is an invaluable tool for teachers in designing effective and valid tests. Its usefulness can be highlighted through the following points with relevant examples for English language teaching at the secondary level in Nepal. The first point is ensures content validity. The grid helps ensure that the test covers all the essential content areas that were taught during the instructional period. By allocating appropriate weightage to different topics based on their importance and instructional time, the test becomes a fair representation of the curriculum. As for example, for grade 9 and 10 English exam covering language skills, in questions it is allocated 40% weightage to reading comprehension to seen and to unseen passages, 35 to writing skills with 2 questions for guided writing and 2 questions for free writing, and grammar with 2 types of questions, that is reproduction and multiple choice type of questions. This ensures that all major components of syllabus are addressed in the test. Next, it aligns assessment with learning objectives. The grid implicitly links the test items to specific learning objectives or skills. This ensures that the test measures what students are actually expected to know and be able to do, rather than just testing recall of factual information. As for example, instead of just testing knowledge of grammatical rules, the grid might specify assessing the ability to apply grammatical rules in the context. This would lead to the inclusion of questions like error correction or sentence transformation, requiring students to actively use their grammatical understanding. Next is provides a balanced representation of cognitive levels. A good test should assess different levels of cognitive skills, from basic recall to higher order thinking. The specification grid helps in distributing test items across these levels, as for example, remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating type of questions. As for example, for reading comprehension passage, the grid might specify that 30% of the questions should test the student's ability to recall facts, 40% should assess their understanding of the main ideas and inferences, 20% should require them to apply information from the text to a new situation, and 10% could involve analyzing the author's tone, purpose, or evaluative type of questions. The next is guides the selection of appropriate questions types. The grid can help in deciding the most suitable types of questions to assess different content areas and cognitive levels effectively. For instance, multiple choice questions might be appropriate for testing factual recall and understanding, while short answer questions might be better for assessing application and analysis. As for example, for testing vocabulary, the grid might suggest using matching exercises or fill in the blanks. For assessing comprehension of narrative text, it might recommend a mix of multiple choice questions for specific details and short answer questions requiring inferential understanding. Main points of usefulness of specification grid: ensures content validity by covering all essential topics proportionally, aligns assessment with specific learning objectives and skills, promotes a balanced representation of different cognitive levels, guides the selection of appropriate and right question types, enhances the overall fairness and reliability of the test. In conclusion, a specification grid is a crucial blueprint for designing effective and high-quality tests in English language teaching. By providing a clear framework that links content, objectives, weightage, and question types. It ensures that the test is a valid and reliable methods for students' learning, ultimately leading to more meaningful and fair assessments. Now let's move to question number 5. Briefly explain the assessment techniques included in the lower secondary level curriculum, grade 6 to 8. Design any 6 text items for assessing receptive skills in English, TSC 2079. The model answer is assessment techniques and lower secondary level grades 6 to 8 and above. The assessment in lower secondary level curriculum grades 6 to 8 in Nepal follows a blended approach, incorporating both internal and external evaluations. 50% of the total marks are allocated for internal evaluation, emphasizing formative assessment, while the remaining 50% are for external evaluation, which is summative in nature. This comprehensive system aims to track student progress continuously and evaluate their overall achievement at the end of academic period. Explanation of assessment techniques. Internal evaluation 50%, which is formative in nature. This focuses on continuous assessment throughout the term and includes a variety of techniques. For attendance, it is allocated 4 marks. Regularity in attendance and active participation in learning activities are constructed as a part of the internal assessment. Reading and writing 16 marks. Continuous assessment of students' reading fluency, comprehension and writing skills through various tasks. Listening and speaking 20 marks. Evaluation of students' ability to understand spoken English and express themselves orally through activities and tasks. The evaluation of these language skills can be carried out by implementing the following techniques and activities as suggested in the curriculum. The first is regular classroom activities and classroom tasks. Observing students' participation, engagement and performance during regular lessons and in-class assignments. Next is observation of students' work and performance. Regularly monitoring students' progress through their classwork and overall performance in the classroom. Next is homework. Assessing students' understanding and practice of concepts through assigned homework. Similarly, next is project work. Evaluating students' ability to research, organize and present information on given topics. Next is oral and written test. Conducting short tests periodically to check understanding of specific units or topics. Unit and trimester examinations. More formal assessments conducted at the end of the units or trimesters to measure learning progress. Self and peer assessment. Encouraging students to reflect on their own learning and provide feedback to their classmates. Next is marks from first and second terminal exams 5+5. Performance in the first and second term examinations contributes to the overall internal assessment. External evaluation, which covers 50% of the marks and it is summative in nature. This is a final examination conducted at the end of the academic year to evaluate the overall learning outcomes. It includes reading comprehension. It covers 25 marks for 4 unseen passages, 2 from the textbook and 2 unseen passages. The first 3 passages carry 5 marks each with 1 type of question and the last passage carries 10 marks. Writing covers 20 marks. Punctuation. Identifying 10 mistakes from 5 marks for 5 marks. One correct answers get 0.5 mark. Guided writing 5 marks. Free writing 10 marks. For free writing it may be essay writing or letter writing. And there will be grammar for 5 marks. 10 questions in total, 5 reproduction type of question and 5 multiple choice questions, each carrying 0.5 marks. The grammar topics include article, preposition, tense, connectives, question tag, reported speech, voice, conditional sentences, subject-verb agreement, question and negation. 6 test items for assessing receptive are reading and listening skills in grade 6 to 8. There are 3 items for listening comprehension and 3 for reading comprehension. Listening comprehension. The first one is following instruction. Task: student listen to the teacher giving 3 simple sequential instructions. As for example, draw a circle in the middle of your paper, then draw a triangle above the circle. Finally, write your name below the circle. The assessment should be: the teacher observes whether the student can accurately follow all 3 instructions in correct order or not. The second one is identifying the main idea. Task: student listen to a short paragraph being read aloud. As for example, yesterday was my birthday. My family surprised me with a big cake and many presents. We sang happy birthday and then I blew out the candles. We all had a lot of fun. Question: read aloud. What is the main idea of this paragraph? Expected answer: the paragraph is about the speaker's birthday celebration. Completing a chart. Task: student listen to short description about a person, including their name, age, favorite color, and hobby. Description should be read aloud. My friend's name is Rita. She is 12 years old. Her favorite color is blue and she loves to read storybooks in her free time. For assessment, student complete a simple chart with headings: name, age, favorite color, hobby, filling in the information they listen. For reading comprehension, multiple choice question based on short passage. The cat sat on the mat. It was fluffy, orange cat. The cat saw a mouse and jumped. Question: what did the cat do when it saw the mouse? It slept, it jumped, it ran, it mewed. The correct answer is B, it jumped. Matching sentences to pictures. Task: students are given a short text with a few simple sentences and a set of corresponding pictures. Text: the boy is playing football. The girl is reading a book. The dog is running in the park. Assessment: student match each sentence to the correct picture. 6. Filling in missing words. Simple close test. Passage: the sun is very ... It gives us light and ... Plants need the sun to ... We can see the sun during the ... Possible answers not provided in the passage students fill in, like bright, heat, grow, day, etc. Okay, let's see the conclusion. The assessment techniques in the lower secondary level curriculum of Nepal aim for balanced approach between continuous monitoring and final evaluation. The emphasis on both formative and summative assessments, along with diverse methods for evaluating receptive and productive skills, ensures a comprehensive understanding of students' learning progress in English. The external examination focuses on evaluating reading comprehension, writing abilities, and grammatical knowledge, aligning with the broader objectives of English language education at this level. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe my channel, and don't forget to press bell icon for more videos.